of the appropriations meeting. We're going to begin by dealing with several bills that are on our docket after we have the roll. Thank you. Go into the board. We have a quorum, 7 present. Thank you. Our analyst, Mr. Maggio, will talk us through the bills.
Madam Chair, the first bill is House Bill 882. This is Delegate Sullivan. Oh, thank you. The first bill is House Bill 882. This is Delegate Sullivan's bill. The patron is here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good to see you. Good morning, members of the committee. So 882, Madam Chair, deals with the Innovative Internship Fund and Program, which already exists and has been very successful in supporting both higher education institutions and employers, private employers, in growing and expanding internship opportunities here in the Commonwealth. The program both provides direct institution grants to support internship development and provides matching grants directly to employers to support paid internships opportunities, and it's split now between SCHEV and VEDP. There has been some ambiguity and indeed some direct denials dealing with whether local government can be involved both with the institutional grants or the employer matching grant fund program. And the bill is based on what I think truism that local governments are an important employer, part of the group of employers throughout the Commonwealth, and we want to be sure that they are supported in helping build their workforce of the future as well. So what 882 does, Madam Chair, is it clarifies that local governments are eligible to participate in all parts of the Innovative Internship Fund and Program. We have budget language that's being considered by staff here to edit the appropriate sections of the budget that are not directly in code, and I see Mr. Maggio shaking his head. We've talked and worked with SCHEV on this bill, and I think while we have some more work to do, they have told me that they're supportive of the process moving forward and supportive of the intent of the legislation. So I ask that the committee pass the bill.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I believe that we have a line amendment on line 36 to insert after the Virginia Economic Development Partnership, VEDP, in consultation with. And so I hope that the patron is acceptable to that friendly amendment. And
that's not lining up with at least my version of line 36, but as Delegate Reed has said, I would consider that a friendly amendment. Yeah.
So I'd like to move that amendment, Madam Chair.
A second? All right. All in favor? Thank you. Committee moves by motion.
As amended. Second.
Clerk will please open the roll. Delegate Sullivan, your bill passes 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. I appreciate it.
The next bill, Madam Chair, House Bill 1039, is the Chair's bill. It's a purely technical amendment. What it does is it removes the Federal Reserve Bank from a membership in an advisory committee in the in the College and Career Ready program. The Federal Reserve asked to be removed. It was just more of a clarification. There is no fiscal impact, and staff recommends to report the bill.
I move to report the bill.
Second.
All right. We move. Clerk will please open the roll. The bill reports 7-0. Thank you, committee. And our final bill?
Final bill is House Bill 1221. This is Delegate Sewell's bill. If the subcommittee will recall, I had mentioned that the state aid programs have been in effect since the 1970s. They're over 50 years old. They really haven't undergone any true reform, if you will. So this bill begins that process. It amends several provisions on of the current programs, the VGAP award, the Commonwealth Award programs. It actually does what JLARC had recommended previously. It consolidates the two of them together. For example, the Commonwealth Award was only in administrative code. It codifies some of the provisions that have been that about award eligibility and the renewal. Ultimately, it repeals the current programs and basically moves that process forward several years down the road. And then maybe most importantly, it creates a work group led by the Secretary of Education, with Chev, to take a look at the current systems, to make recommendations that will have the most impact on affordability, on access, and on student outcomes, and bring that back to you by July 1st of 27.
Madam Chair, I move to report.
We might hear any conversation, questions from the audience. Anyone to speak in favor or against this bill?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. I'm Caitlin Reed with James Madison University. As Mr. Maggio noted, this bill codifies a 2022 JLARC recommendation to streamline and simplify need-based financial aid in the Commonwealth. It gives families an increased level of predictability as they're working to figure out financing their child's education. So therefore, James Madison supports the bill, and I have been asked to also offer a sentiment of support from the University of Virginia, Virginia Commonwealth University, and Radford University. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Connor Andrews, Deputy Secretary for Education. The administration supports the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion and a second. So clerk will please open the roll. HB 1221 passes with a vote of 7-0. Thank you very much. Mr. Maggio.
I think we have a presentation from the community colleges. Chancellor Duray is here.
Welcome, Chancellor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Good morning, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Want to give a little bit of an overview of the community college system, who we are, where we're going, and why we are so critical, I think, to affordability in higher education today. So with that, I will... First of all, who we are, I think everyone on the committee has a good sense of the community college system. We are 23 colleges in every region of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we've taken a much more strategic approach, a one-system approach. How can we maximize value across our 23 colleges, working much more collaboratively by region and really looking at the talent pipeline and how we can increase that pipeline across the Commonwealth of Virginia. But pretty much I want to go over just a few items in terms of who we're serving. So in terms of our numbers, we are approaching close to 250,000 Virginians that we serve throughout the system. That represents about 46% of the total undergraduate population in Virginia. And as most all of you know, our students stay and work and contribute to Virginia and contribute to that tax base. Over 81% of our students stay and work and then give back to the Commonwealth. Now, our enrollment, fortunately, has been increasing. We've seen 3 consecutive years of enrollment increases, 9 semesters. We are now have achieved enrollment that has exceeded the pre-pandemic level of 2017. So I'm really happy to report that our enrollment has been really on the upswing, particularly in the career and technical areas where we have incredible demand. In terms of just some of our specific programs, fast forward, as you know, know, this is one of our fastest growing programs. The JLARC report identified that the demand is for that program is outpacing the current budget for that program. 63% average gains for students that go through that program. I think what's particularly, I think, important about the Fast Forward program is the incredible return on investment. Hundreds of those credentials are less than $1,500. And when you look at the cost of a 4-year degree in Virginia, that is on average about $118,000 for that degree, and these students are seeing these credential attainments in weeks as opposed to years, and then seeing these kinds of wage gains, I think, is pretty impressive. In terms of G3, and I want to thank the General Assembly for your ongoing support for G3, our G3 graduates are seeing a 95% wage increase, and so this is an incredible investment that you are making. I know that affordability is a top priority of Governor Spanberger. It's a top priority of the General Assembly. And I believe that the most efficient way to reduce that cost to a 4-year baccalaureate degree is for students to transfer, spend those first 2 years at a Virginia community college. On average, that's a $22,000 savings on that 4-year degree. So I think, again, more focus on ensuring that more students can begin that baccalaureate attainment at a community college, which is 1/3 of the cost of our 4-year public institutions. We are focused, our strategic plan, Accelerate Opportunity, is laser focused on serving the talent needs of Virginia. We have an ambitious goal of awarding 300,000 degrees and credentials by 2030, and I am very pleased to report that we are well ahead of our target in achieving that goal. As you well know, $11.6 billion to the economy, incredible investment in terms of thinking about the students that we serve and getting those students into a high wage position. That is really, I think, addressing our SNAP challenges, our TANF challenges, and our Medicaid challenges by getting more of those Virginians into employer-paid health plans that really can, I think, help alleviate some of the tension on those programs now. So what are really the problems that we can solve for Virginia? Again, lowering the cost to a bachelor's degree. And there's 2 ways to do that. One is through spending 2 years as a transfer student to a 4-year institution. The other is through dual enrollment. And with the implementation of the College and Career Ready Virginia program, we are now providing the passport and the uniform certificate of general studies at no cost to school divisions throughout Virginia. Just to give you an idea, if a student takes advantage of that opportunity, that is a savings of just under $30,000 on that 4-year degree for that student. Think about that, members of the committee. For every 1,000 students who achieve a uniform certificate of general studies and use that to transfer, that's a $30 million savings to Virginia's families. So when you're thinking about affordability, I think lowering that cost to the 4-year bachelor's degree through a community college is really a great pathway. Higher wages, better lives for more Virginians. What we are really trying to do is upskill every single Virginian. As an open access institution, we are here to serve everyone, providing more workers to fuel the most in-demand industries. And as the JLARC report indicated, our challenge now is not so much growing in our transfer programs, but we have a clear critical need to grow our career and technical programs in the most high-demand industry sectors across Virginia. But what does this mean, again, for Virginia? It means more Virginians that are working in these high-paid jobs, more Virginians that are contributing to the most needed revenue in the Commonwealth, which is those state income taxes. So we believe that we can solve a lot of the affordability challenges through the community college system. So what I'd like to do is really focus on 3 specific programs that we are delivering that I believe are some of the highest return on investments that we can make in the Commonwealth. First is, and again, the JLARC report really indicated the importance of Fast Forward and the importance of career and technical as well as dual enrollment. Members of this subcommittee have patroned some amendments for 2 of these programs, and I appreciate Delegate David Reed, who has supported an amendment to really increase our budget for Fast Forward. That would be an increase of $16.2 million in FY27, an additional and an increase of $2.6 million in FY28. And we believe that so this would put the Fast Forward fund at $40 million per year, which we believe then would suffice to meet the current demand for Fast Forward moving forward. And again, remember that this is a pay-for-performance program, so we really get to access these dollars when in fact the students are completing those certificates. This investment would mean 8,250 more Virginians per year with these short-term credentials, raising their wages on average by 63%. So we believe this is a good investment. Also, and I appreciate Chair Carr, who is carrying an amendment that would invest in our career and technical education programs. Delegate Carr has sponsored an amendment which is a $30 million investment across our CTE programs across every region of Virginia, particularly focused, again, on the high demand, high sectors. And I want to give just a couple for you of examples of how we have drilled down specifically across region and across sector of how we would use those investment dollars. And I particularly want to thank Mr. Tony Maggio, who really has been helping us as we have trying to address how we can increase the output in the career and technical education programs. A challenge for us, as you know, is, and this is again identified in the JLARC report, is these programs are often more than double the cost of our transfer programs. So upscaling these programs does require an investment. So let me give you just some concrete examples. So in this proposal would be an investment in RN output. And with a $2.9 million infrastructure, that's one time, with $2.6 million ongoing, we would produce 200 more RNs across the Commonwealth. In dental hygiene, with a $620,000 investment and a $1.8 million ongoing, we would double the output at 4 of our colleges of dental hygienists. In diesel technology, at Nova and Laurel Ridge, a $1.3 million startup cost for diesel technology and $550,000 ongoing would add 60 more diesel technicians per year. And then in industrial maintenance, a $500,000 startup would and $300,000 ongoing would give us 20 additional diesel technologists at Virginia Peninsula. And I want to also point out that industry is investing in these programs. In the nursing program, Centera has invested $2 million. Carilion is investing dollars. Delta Dental, we are working with them as well. And then, of course, Newport News Shipbuilding has invested $1 million as well into the system. And in terms of dual enrollment, as I mentioned, what we are doing now is providing the UCG and the passport at no cost to students and no cost to school divisions. There's, however, a whole bunch of other dual enrollment courses that we are not able to provide at no cost. And so what we are looking for is really how will we how will we address dual enrollment moving forward? Because there are cost elements to that. And so we would appreciate a study to look at how we could look at investing in dual enrollment across the Commonwealth in terms of addressing that CCR fund, which is in the original legislation. And so that really is a quick overview of our proposals, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that any members of the subcommittee have.
Thank you so much for that presentation. We have questions, comments from our committee members. Delegate Moorfield.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, sir. Earlier you mentioned increasing outputs, and you had mentioned some of the larger employers like the Centeras and so forth. We all understand that it's critically important that the community college system establish relationships with those employers, but when you get in the more rural areas, like in the area that I represent, for example, those large employers are few and far between. And so I know that each individual community college has their own program where, you know, they'll go out and reach out to the local community and so forth. But does the statewide community college system have a program in place to encourage the individual community colleges to reach out to those small employers and establish those types of relationships?
Absolutely, Delegate Moorfield. And, you know, I'll just cite some examples of where we are making sure that we're doing this by sector. So I've been hosting statewide industry sector summits. We've had a number. We've had them in skilled trades. We've had them in healthcare. We've had them in information technology. And what we're doing is we're bringing together all of those employers. And what I find interesting, you know, we've held a number of those in Roanoke, and a big bulk of the attendees at those summits are, in fact, the smaller companies. And so we've had incredible, I think, attendance and interaction. And so our approach is really looking not just at the large employers, but really working with small employers as well across every single sector and in every region of Virginia.
Delegate Moorfield.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair.
Delegate Austin.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Chancellor Dorr, thank you for a great presentation. I'd like to just echo what my colleague said. You know, it's come to my attention that probably in Virginia, and in particular in the western part of the state, we focus more on large industry than we do small businesses. And I think small businesses, and I'll give you an example. In Botetourt, we have no small business parks. You know, we have major industries, but we don't accommodate the needs of a small business to start up, develop, and grow. I did that 48, 49 years ago. I started a business, and you know, I bought some land and I built a building, not having the vision or the revenues or to prepare for the growth of the future. So I like the fact that you're focusing on that. I think that's very, very important. The service sector in our economy is certainly in need, and we have to train those individuals, be it plumbers, electricians, brick masons, or whatever. So thank you for what you're doing there, and thank you for the success of our community colleges. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Austin.
Thank you, Delegate Austin. And again, I would say that, you know, the small business owner is really is foundational, I think, to Virginia's future.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your presentation, and thank you for your leadership and how you're helping the students and citizens in the Commonwealth.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members of the committee.
Mr. Maggio, that's it. All right. No more business before the committee. The committee shall rise.